Jim Norton Show starts now.
You know, that dumb intro plays every week, and I hear it, but you don't listen to it when you hear it, because, you know, you hear it every week. But it is true. A moderately successful comedian. Like, that was kind of sarcastic and joking, but just, ugh. I just want to fucking sell out in advance once in a while. You know, we all have things in our job that annoy us. Obsessing over ticket sales is a thing in my job that I hate. And you probably never get beyond it. I mean, no matter what level you're on, you know, if you're an arena act, you're probably obsessed if the arena is 3/4 sold and not sold out, or if you're only doing one show and not doing two. I'm sure every level has its problems, just like all of your jobs do. And these are luxury problems to have. I mean, I'm lucky to have these problems. If you told me when I was 18 that I'd be 44 and worried about a sellout comedy show, I would have signed up for that in a second. So the phones are ringing. We'll take your calls and hopefully just not drive you to throw yourself in front of a train. Who's first, young Eric?
Tom in Massachusetts. He's going to one of your gigs coming up.
Oh, okay.
Tom?
Hey, what's going on, Jimmy?
Hi, Tom.
I got a question for you. I'm going to see you in Somerville, and I got a Patrice poster. I was wondering, do you think it'd be appropriate for me to bring it and have you sign, or no?
Yeah, of course. But if you have Patrice posters, of course I'll sign them. I'm doing the show in Somerville, Massachusetts. It's I believe both shows are sold out. I'm shooting them the 29th. So yeah, bring your poster. I'll be happy to sign it. I'm actually really, really looking forward to this. It's the only thing that really I'm looking forward to at this point in life.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm looking forward to it, too. I'll see you there.
Okay, brother. See you there. Thank you for coming.
Let's go to Jason Cleveland. He's having an identity crisis.
Oh, good.
Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
Hi,
I'm a
buddy.
big fan, and saw you last year in Cleveland, and I hope you sell out that Toledo show.
Thank you.
I've been a loyal fan for over like 5 years now. I remember going back when you and Patrice was a big. I go way back, but I listened to some of the things that recently came up on the show, and being a black listener is kind of disturbing because I don't think. I'm conflicted about the humor. I have no problem with racist humor and words and context, but I don't know if y'all are actually getting the both sides of the story. I actually see it from some African American side.
Well, what is it that you feel I'm personally missing?
Well, it's not as much as you because you seem to actually get in. You seem to actually understand how Anthony's hurt me, like recently, especially with this eugenics stuff. It feels like it makes me feel like I'm a lesser human being because I'm just happen to be black, and these are supposed to be some kind of talking points when I don't know exactly how I should feel about this and how I should feel about him.
Well, it's like anything else. I mean, you know, whenever talking points for anything come up, whether it's here or on, whether it's CNN or Fox or MSNBC, wherever it is, you take, as they say, you take what you need and you leave the rest. I mean, you know, there's going to be things you hear which you disagree with, and this is for any listener, not just yourself or not just racial stuff. And whatever it is that you disagree with, I mean, I love when guys call in and tell us what they don't like. Yeah, as long as they're being reasonable, which you're being reasonable. One thing our show could use more of is a balance for that. Because a lot of times it's me and Ann or me and Ope, we're just all talking about stuff. But it would help if we had somebody else in, like an expert on the other side, like or an expert, period. None of us are experts. So maybe we could use some more balance in the discussions. But just, you know, it would make for interesting radio just to have those guests in. But, you know, as far as an identity crisis, why would you feel any way at all about yourself? I mean, you're just hearing the opinion of radio guys. Who gives a shit what we think, or Anthony thinks, or Opie or myself?
Well, I went to a school system that was 50% white, 50% black in the Cleveland area, and I've always always danced this edge that I never really fit into either side.
Right.
Like, I'm big into cars and drag racing and NASCAR and stuff, but I DJ too. So
you like things that white guys typically like?
I like cars and I like cars and country music and all that, but yet I can hang out with niggas also. You know, and it makes I can jump both sides, but yet I don't seem to fit into either world, and it makes it kind of hard to try to find yourself.
See, don't forget too, sir, when you're hearing this show, like, Ann expresses opinions, you know what I mean, that a lot of white guys won't express. Some are right, some are wrong, and some are just exaggerated for the radio or caught up in the moment. But when you listen to black talk radio and black stations, you hear a lot of racial talk, and I don't mean all the time, but when they talk about it, they talk about it honestly. The problem is that when white people talk about it and you hear maybe somebody who's more in one direction than from the center, it sounds crazy because white people have become so full of shit when discussing race that anybody not discussing it a certain way comes off as crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you hear like a lot of hardcore black guys talk about race, and, a lot of times you don't agree with them, but they don't sound crazy. But when a white guy is just as far off center as that, they sound crazy because you're not used to hearing it. I mean, that's just my take on it. But, I mean, I hope you keep listening to the show, and maybe we could use some more balance. I would love to. Believe me, I'm obsessed with interviewing Louis Farrakhan, but he won't come on the show. But I would love to get a Nation of Islam guy in here. Like, I love talking to those guys.
I mean, it would be really nice if you do get someone on, someone from the Cleveland area that you probably might want to look into is this guy named Art McCoy. He's a community activist, and he's kind of out there on that fringe.
Okay.
So he might want to start looking into him and see if you can't get him on the show. I think he'll be an interesting talk to y'all.
All right, thank you for calling, man. I appreciate it, and just keep listening.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
All right, buddy. Yes.
Let's go to Anthony on Long Island.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi, Anthony.
I was listening to that guy. Obviously, I wouldn't just call in to take up your airtime, but obviously he was directing his comments toward moi. So I just, you know what? My point of view is that it is balanced all over the media because blacks get their point across every goddamn day in the media. It's some kind of crime to offend a black person based on their race. It's the coddling, the ultra sensitivity that white people need to put on black people on a daily basis is infuriating, and that's the only reason why people think I take it to the extreme when I talk about race and I talk about different theories on race and the poverty and eugenics, whatever it is. Whatever I'm bringing up, it's just discussion. I don't know everything, but I think we should be allowed to discuss anything without people getting so fucking turned off and upset and insulted. I mean, but black people really have to lighten the fuck up.
Well, you said something.
Not being able to feel that they can be spoken about.
You said something that was very true, and it's almost like whatever is the real sore point or the real nerve in what's happening in the world is kind of what we talk about more, and it's what people who are being funny or whatever tend to go towards. And I noticed a lot more racial talk started after Imus got fired. That was a tremendous line in the sand as far as language and what you can say. And it made me focus on it more, almost like, oh, this is the thing we can't talk about. This is now the thing that gets you in trouble. Well, fuck you. So you almost are rebelling against the idea of that or against the penalty for that and saying things. And I don't mean you, I mean all of us, saying things that are purposefully almost provocative to the idea of being penalized for them.
Yeah, no one likes being told they can or can't say anything as an adult, especially when it's something that isn't directly inciting a riot or literally causing physical harm to somebody. We don't like being told you can't say something and having that held over our heads as people. I'm talking, not
Absolutely.
Just whitey. So when a guy like that calls, and I even understand his point. I mean, it's got to be bad to have to listen to something that is insulting to you. But hey, that's fucking life. But when I listen to shit every day that's insulting to me.
It's
Sometimes
right.
It's coming out of my own goddamn mouth. So, I don't want to take up all your time.
No, that's
You're doing
right.
a great job, and I'm listening on my way home. I love my Jimmy.
But how are you? Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's get to the bottom of Sad Anthony. Now that you've called the advice show, this is what it's really about. Let's take care of Anthony. And let's...
on my phone, I can't, I'm losing the connection.
That's right. Between yourself and humanity. Oh, he hung up. Oh, I do love Ant. Who's next?
Let's go to Chris in Charlotte. Wants to talk about approaching you at a show.
Oh, okay. That's not really advice.
Hey, Jim, I'm going to the Comedy Zone in Charlotte this weekend.
Thank you.
And I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm nervous about how do I approach you to get a picture taken with you after the show at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte this weekend?
You can just walk up to me. Believe me, there'll be plenty of fucking room to move around in the club. So just walk up and say hello, dude. It's fine. I'm very approachable and I'm easy, and eventually somebody will shoot me because I'm approachable. So just come up and say hi. It's very easy.
Everybody listening, go to fucking Charlotte this weekend. Jimmy Norton's going to kill. You're going to love Charlotte, Jim. You're going to love it.
I hear it's a great city. Thank you very much, buddy, and I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Jess in North Dakota has a problem with his wife sleeping with another woman.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I don't have a problem with my wife sleeping with another woman. There's been a couple of times where we got a friend of ours that we go out and we hang out, and one thing leads to another, and we end up having a three-way, yet it's more of a two-way, and I'm just stuck there watching.
Okay.
The first time we ever did anything, my wife didn't say anything at first, but after I paid for it for like 3 days later, for the next 3 days, she's like, what'd you let her touch your penis for? What'd you fucking let her suck your dick for? It's like, well, I thought this is what we were doing. I thought it was okay, but
so
how do I get her to be like, okay, I'm fine with you doing whatever with another woman, but when do I get to have my fun with it?
Yeah, that jealousy stuff. I figured that's what it was because, you know, she wants to get her pussy eaten or she wants to go down on the other woman, but if you get your dick sucked, you're a fucking criminal. And then you have to make a decision like, okay, it's probably always going to be imbalanced like this. Now, are you willing to just take the hotness of watching her with another woman and just jerking yourself off or only fucking your wife? Or are you willing to risk not having threesomes at all by saying, look, if you're going to go down on her, then I want to go down on her. Or if she's going to go down on you, then I want her to suck my cock. It's like you have to make that decision on what's more important to you. Because you have to think also, it's easy for me to trash your wife, but then how would you feel if there was another guy in the picture? Obviously, you and the other guy probably wouldn't be jerking each other off, but could you watch her fuck another guy, or could you watch her suck another guy?
We've been in that situation
okay.
before, and I don't know why. It actually kind of turned me on to watch her fuck another guy.
All right, so that's a dangerous thing because you're okay with it and you watched it and you allowed her to explore that, but then she's giving you shit. That breeds a lot of resentment in a relationship when things are imbalance like that, or it sounds corny, but unfairness. Like if you watched her fuck somebody and you were okay with it and you didn't give her shit the next day, she should not be giving you shit about having the girl suck you. So she's got to deal with her insecurity or else you shouldn't have the threesomes.
Yeah, and the fucked up thing for me is, you know, when that was happening, you know, I told every party involved, I said, I'm not doing nothing unless it's okay with my wife. And she said, yeah, that's fine, whatever, you know, and I think it was mainly because she wanted to try a different dick, which is fine, whatever. But I started fucking the other girl that was in the group, and you know, for the next 3-4 days later, I'm fucking dealing with, you did this. Well, fucking look what you did.
Wait, she got fucked and then criticized you for fucking?
Yes, a little bit.
How do you tolerate that? Put your foot down.
Well, we've gotten through it. I told her straight out, I said, if this is the way it's going to be, it's just never going to happen again. And it was to the point where I was packing my shit ready to leave, but hammered it all out. But do you think maybe it might have a little bit to do with it? You know, I'm almost 36 years old, and I have a lot of fucking experience when it comes to being with other women. My wife, not so much. She's with the same man for 16 years.
I understand that, and I understand jealousy, and it's easier said than done. But because you've done the other thing, and because she wants the luxury of going down on this woman or this woman going down on her, it has to be the same for both of you. Unless you're willing to accept that. Like, if you're willing to go like, fuck it, she won't let me touch the girl, but I love watching them together, well, then just kind of just swallow that and enjoy what you have. But if it's going to eat at you and you're going to resent it, like, you can't be doing these things and then both resenting each other after. Fuck her, she wouldn't let me get blown. What's you know? And then she's like, well, fuck him, he had to touch the other girl. It can't be that way. It's either you're both going to be okay with it or you shouldn't do it.
I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, what man in their right mind is gonna fucking say, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that anymore because you won't let her suck my dick." Fuck that. I'm gonna let my wife go down on another bitch. It's fucking hot.
See, that might interfere with me doing it. That might annoy me because the annoyance of knowing she can do something I can't would probably make me go, well, fuck her. I'm not going to do it. And then just cheat on her. So you're probably doing better than I would do. Good luck, my friend.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Anthony Cumia for president.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That was a good improv, by the way. You said Anthony Cumia for president. I went, yep. Like I'm from fucking Maine.
Kenny in Milwaukee needs your expertise as an author.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing, Jim?
Hi, Kenny.
Happy birthday to Uncle Paul. Isn't he like 58 years young this month?
57 years young. So what, are you writing a book?
Well, I actually published it through CreateSpace, which is free to anybody. It's an Amazon company. I'm self-published, but I don't know how to get like a traditional publisher. I don't know where to start. Who do I send information to, like a copy of the book?
I don't know because I'm sorry. To be honest with you, the way it happened for me is when we were kicked off the radio, I had put some things on my website, and a publicist, not a publicist, a book agent noticed it, Lydia, and she said, "Jim's a very funny writer. He should write a book." So I started blogging, but we were kicked off the radio with the idea of a book possibly coming at it. That eventually became Happy Ending. So I kind of backed into it. So I don't know what the traditional process is to do it. Okay. But you know what? You should look up literary agents and call one and ask them, what do I do?
So I should actually get a radio show and get kicked off and then...
Yes, go through the same thing I did. Have a tremendously long and sordid sexual history and then write about it.
All right. Do you mind if I plug my website?
Go ahead.
It's exposingthelosechange.com, and I also have a YouTube channel, Loose Change Exposed, and I have a bunch of videos that have never been proven wrong. I debunked the conspiracy theory of 9/11. I debunked it.
Okay.
And I tell you a lot of answers that they cover up and hide, and they're lying. And one of my recent videos is 9/11 Liars Club, Alex Jones, and I caught him in a lie, and it's right there, and he cannot deny it. And I appreciate you taking my call. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. Good luck with the book. Take care.
You're getting a lot of calls of people just asking you about coming to different cities and things like that.
Yeah, if you want me to come to your cities, I love coming to your cities, and a lot of the times the shows are great. But if shows sell out, like my fans buy tickets late, but it's like if I'm not going to sell out, what's the use of going? Like, I mean, I know people mean well when they say that, but I would like to get to your cities. But I go places where I typically sell okay.
All right, let's go to Sean in Buffalo.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on, brother?
Not much.
Hey, so curious about when you're on the road. I know you got a penchant for going ahead and getting with the ladies and the hookers and stuff. You ever pull a girl out of the crowd?
I have, but it's very rare that I do, especially in recent years, because after the shows, I sell merchandise and I sign it, and I'm hanging out, and then I go back to the hotel with Kenny in between shows, and I come right before I go on. So I almost never pick off girls after shows anymore at all. But I have in my life, but it's much more rare than you would think, because my act is not sexy. It's not a sexy act. I talk about happy ending massages and, self-hatred and all this stuff, and it's just not the type of thing that makes a girl go, oh, good, I want to fuck that fat-titted disaster.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is my gal's trying to con me into going to your show out in Syracuse, and she's a big star fucker, and I think she'd make a play for you.
All right, well, tell her I'm available. We have to get rid of you, though, sir, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. Just don't cock block. That's my advice.
Hey, that's my obligation to you, brother.
See you in Syracuse, buddy. Thank you.
Later.
Andrew has an acting question for you, Jim.
Oh, good. He wants to, whatever my answer is, he's going to do the opposite. Hi, Andrew.
How you doing, Jimmy?
Hey.
When you were working in Caldors and Corvettes and wherever the hell you were working, driving a forklift, what made you think that you could go into stand-up comedy and be successful? Because you don't seem like the type of guy that was in the plays and choir and stuff like that.
It's weird. It's like because I always saw myself as a comedian. Like from the time I was 12, I always I've talked before on the show about this secret fantasy we have about ourselves, which is why people don't try things. Because they're not even afraid of failing. They're afraid of losing that little secret place they go to in their mind where they can kind of escape and dream about themselves someday. So people don't try things because they're afraid of that. I always kind of saw myself as a comic. Like when I worked at Caldor when I was 17 or 16, whatever I was, or when I worked at Pergamon and did all these shit jobs, I always believed that someday I would be doing more. And a lot of people believe that. So I deep down probably never really intended to do it. It's kind of a luck that I, again, backed into this with my friend Larry, and I went to a comedy show, and I wound up just doing it. But the same low self-esteem that made me need to perform is the same thing that would have prevented me from attempting it. It's a really weird thing. Like, I think most comics are low self-esteem people, and yet, you know, we're doing the most arrogant thing. So I think a lot of times the odds, everything has to line up for you to do it. That's why a lot of very funny people don't do it, because, you know, everything doesn't line up for them to do it. But for me, it was right place at the right time, and I was dating a girl, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to impress her by doing this. And so I went against being afraid, and I risked kind of blowing up that little stupid secret place I'd go to and tried it. But that's the only difference between me and somebody who doesn't try it, is that I tried it.
Were you always the funniest guy on the job site and stuff like that?
In many ways, I was. Why is that? I think is that what you're dealing with? Like, people have told you should be a comedian, or you've always dreamed about it, but you're not too sure what to do. You're afraid.
No. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's too late for me now.
No, it's not. Rodney Dangerfield did comedy for a long time, and then he dropped out for years and went back to aluminum siding, and then came back. And I think his name was Jack Roy. So it's not too late. I mean, when you're doing stand-up, you don't have to realize you don't, maybe you don't want to be Seinfeld or fucking, you know, Pryor, but it doesn't mean you can't go up and try something that you like. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Oh, okay. You know, just because you don't think you're young enough to go, you know, to Kevin Hart's success doesn't mean that you can't go up and enjoy it. Just don't set your goal of becoming an icon. Just, you know, just go up and do it because you want to do it. It's fun.
We'll go to Mark in South Carolina. This is something new, polygamy.
Okay.
Yes. Hey, little Jimmy.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, love you. Matter of fact, me and one of the wives and one of my sons we're actually going to be in Charlotte on Saturday night to see the world famous Jim Norton.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yes. Question I do have. I actually have 3 wives.
Jesus.
Been with one for 17 years, another for 7 years, and the third for going on 5 years. Wow. Big house. We all get together. We're all friends. And it's not a religious thing. It's just one of those things that just kind of happen.
How do you get away with polygamy, though? How are you all married?
Well, one is one legal marriage, and the other 2 were ceremonies done by friends.
Oh, that's great.
So that way it's not, legally bigamy.
Okay.
But it is recognized by our friends and by our families and everything.
Okay.
The question I do have, though, is we've been together, and what I do is I actually set up date nights for each woman where we have time together.
Right.
Then we have time as a family. But yet, some of them are still getting jealous of time that I spend doing. And, of course, I do one, I do with all. It's like children. You can't just do for one. You have to do for all.
Yeah.
How would you recommend keeping them in line and from being jealous of one of another?
Dude,
this is something that's just popped up.
It's a tough question, jealousy like that, because they probably weren't raised in a family situation or society where that was what they were expecting. Like, if you're, I guess, a Mormon or whatever, you kind of grow up knowing that can happen, or that's maybe where your adult life is going to wind up. But if these are women that were not raised in that culture or in a culture of having that happen, they may think they can handle something that they can't handle. I mean, I don't know any answer. How do you make wife 1 not be jealous of wife 2? I mean, I don't know what the answer to that is. I mean, because it's not like girlfriends where you're casually dating. The idea of a wife is that you're committed to somebody for a long time. So they may have trouble because they're splitting their commitment with other women. You know what I mean? They're fully committed to you, but you're not fully committed to them. So them not being raised in that culture may be hard, and that may be insurmountable. I don't know.
Right. And it's just...
You're married to, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is the woman you're married to actually jealous, or is it just the other 2?
It's usually the other 2.
Well, they're the ones who know that they're not the wives.
Yeah, you're right.
They're basically, They're just basically living they're there. They have no legal right to anything you own. So everything you buy or that you get as a group could probably go to your actual legal wife, and these other two will have no claim on it. So it's almost like they're working for a company that they're never going to own stock in.
Right.
And for women, that, because again, they have a clock that's different than ours, that probably starts to play in if they get into their 30s and whatever. They're like, all right, what if I have a kid with him, or, whatever it is they're thinking. Maybe that goes into it because they don't have a legal claim to anything. At least that one woman knows that she has, she's your partner and she's entitled to half. Maybe they know that they have no claim to anything.
Right. Well, never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you would suggest?
No, I would just suggest to tell them, like, if they can't handle it, and again, say it nicely, but maybe that they should move on, as hard as that would be, because you don't need, if there's 3 of you living together, you don't need 1 or 2 of you jealous and becoming, because then it's going to become fucking undercutting, and people are going to start, pitting one against the other, and, who the fuck needs that at home?
Right.
So I would suggest an honest discussion with them and tell them to really be truthful about what it is they want and what it is they can handle. And if they can't handle it, they have to be willing to walk, and you have to be willing to let them go without making some kind of false promise.
True that.
Good luck, buddy.
Okay, cool beans. Well, listen, Jimmy, I cannot wait until Saturday, and you're going to have fun, and so are we.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bring the hottest wife. Okay. Who's
let's
next?
go to Jess in New York City.
Hi, Jess.
Hey, Jim. How's it going?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Hey, I'm a truck driver, and I've recently become obsessed with escorts.
Yes. I'm a comedian, and I've a long time ago been obsessed with them, so I get it.
Yeah. And I don't make a lot of money, and it's kind of getting out of hand. Have you ever heard of eroticmugshots.com?
I have not.
Yeah, because you can see the pictures of the girls, and then you can call them directly. You don't have to go through anyone. And I travel around all around the country, and I'm in all these different cities. And as long as I'm in a major city, I can just go on the internet and just call a girl up, and I can either get a room or she'll come to my truck.
Sure.
And it's really become an obsession. And at this case, I'm probably spending $5,000-$6,000 a year because it's $200-$300 a shot, and I'm doing it like twice a month at least.
Well, I can tell you this, sir. It's like gambling or any other addiction. Like, money is all relative to what you make. Like, there's people that gamble, $100,000 a week away, and if $1,000 a month is hurting you, then you should look at it. Because the internet for us is a new toy. Like, how old a guy are you?
I'm 50.
See, in our generation, we didn't grow up with that. So for younger people, it's one thing. They may be used to it. But for guys like us who didn't grow up with it, it's this newfound access to everything. Like, we didn't have girls. Like, you couldn't just, if I was performing stand-up in 1992, I couldn't just find a girl on a fucking magic device. You have a magic device that you can call a girl and she'll fuck you. I mean, how does anybody resist that? It's very hard to resist. So sexual addiction has been completely sped up by the internet because we don't know how to handle it yet. It's something that will eventually work itself out, but it's really hard to balance. I understand it. It's like this thing that you look forward to. Like, ooh, I'm gonna be in Detroit. Now, fuck, that one with the great tits is in Detroit. It becomes this thing to look forward to, whereas 20 years ago it might have been a restaurant or a hotel or whatever it is. So, like anything else, man, if it's getting out of hand, you should address it and do something about it, because it's never just gonna go away on its own.
Yeah, because it's great. You can get a 23-year-old girl come to you. I mean, those young girls are, oh my God.
Yeah.
I had a girl come to the truck the other night. I was in St. Louis. I mean, she fucked me raw, sucked me. I did everything to her, man. It was awesome.
Of course it's awesome. And the decision you make is, sometimes I'll think, okay, what's worse? Because if you're out just banging girls randomly, you're putting in hours and hours of time. Because if you want to meet girls in different places, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to have to be online, and instant message is going to cost you hours of time. You never know if they're married, if they have some boyfriend that's going to show up at your truck with a fucking hammer. You might get them pregnant, and all of a sudden you're tied into them for 21 years. So sometimes just spending a little bit of money is a cheaper option in the long run. But if you feel it's making your life unmanageable and it's becoming, it's something you shouldn't be doing anymore, well, then you might want to address it by either going to some kind of a meeting or therapy, because that's the only thing I can think of that works for those things.
Yeah, 'cause I can tell it's an obsession, man.
Yeah.
I'm lonely, and I just want a woman. It's just.
Yeah. Maybe you should find a girl, dude. Maybe try a dating site, too. Match.com or something like that. Maybe you could try a healthier one, too, that's not going to guarantee you a fuck, but when you get into these cities, you'll go to dinner. Why don't you try that, too?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And if it doesn't work out, but I hear good things about a lot of those sites, that they actually will help you, and you can meet real people on them. So maybe you want to try one of those and give it a shot.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Good luck, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, yeah, and always make sure you shave before a date. Like, a lot of it's tempting to be slovenly and sloppy, but I mean, you want to shave, and let's be, what's where you're all lathered up, and what's worse than being ready to shave, and you realize you forgot to buy blades. Don't you feel like a douche when that happens? I know I do. Now you're stuck digging through the trash for an old blade that zombied out your face yesterday, and now you got to reuse it. You're one step away from stealing your wife's lady razor, and that's just humiliating on a man's level. You never want to take a pink razor that she shaves her fat legs with, or her cankles. You really want to shave your face with the same thing your wife shaves her cankles with? This is your Dollar Shave Club moment, you silly geese. Dollar Shave Club is for guys who routinely forget to buy or simply hate shelling out for blades. So here's what all the Dollar Shave Club buzz is about. Everyone buys razor blades, right? We have to. Unless you've had your face lasered, and that's just stupid if you're a man. Brand name razor companies nail you. They build them with 10 blades, a vibrating handle, and a built-in back scratcher. It's idiotic, and it's too expensive. You end up paying up the wazoo for them. I like that. That's written in real man language, because that's how real guys talk. We say, up the wazoo. Ugh, sounds conversational, but you do get it. They're basically saying they fuck you financially, and they do. Dollar Shave Club does not. They say stop overpaying for shave technology that you don't need. The Dollar Shave Club, you send them a couple bucks a month, and they deliver great quality razor blades right to your door. You save a fortune, and plus you always have fresh blades on hand because they're not going to forget to deliver them. They're not idiots like you. And me. I forget to buy them all the time, and I have to go out and get them, and it's just expensive and stupid. So join the Opie and Anthony Show listeners who have already found the smarter way to shave at dollarshaveclub.com. Dollarshaveclub.com. It is, they say it again, dollarshaveclub.com. Stop paying up the wazoo. That's regular guy talk, because that's how we all talk around the water cooler. Harry, where'd you get those razors? Oh, gee, Bill, I spent up the wazoo for them. Who's next on this fine program?
Rich in Yonkers had a quick question about the Patrice benefit. For
you. Yes. Hi, Rich.
Hey, Jimmy. How are you, buddy?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Turn your radio down.
Turn your radio down, Rich, please.
My radio is off, actually.
Okay, whatever that echo is. Okay.
I'm throwing off the Bluetooth.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, is that Patrice benefit, because I wasn't able to make it, is that ever going to be available on DVD or on...
No, it was not filmed. It was not recorded. It was just a one and done. For the family, and the posters are still available. I think you could probably grab some of them on eBay, but no, that was it, buddy. It was just that one night.
Oh, too bad. All right, well,
yeah.
Thank you anyway.
Okay, brother. Take care.
Let's go to Justin, Kentucky.
Hi, Justin.
Hey, Jimmy. What's up?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad. A quick question, man. I'm kind of backwards. I mean, I'm a younger dude. I'm actually recently going through a divorce.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay.
Yeah, I drive a truck, but I'm not one of those guys that's, like, gone constantly. Like, I'm home 5 nights out of 7.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm recently divorced, and I just, like, what do you do to meet women, like, new people in general? Because where I'm at, like, there's no bars, there's no nightclubs, there's, like, a fucking Walmart, and that's it.
I'll tell you, man, this is where the crazy age of the internet, which we just talked about, the other guy with the sex addiction, there really are plenty of websites to go to. I mean, because I'm not a nightclub guy myself. I mean, I work in them, and I still have trouble meeting women. And I don't say that like you should be shocked, but I mean, I'm exposed to different people every night. I'm exposed to different women every night, and it's difficult. So even if you do go out to bars and clubs, you're spending hours and hours and hours. And if you're looking for like a relationship and you're not just looking to fuck, there are websites, and I'm not shilling for Match.com. I have no experience with them whatsoever. I don't know anything about them other than the fact that I have heard people, like, or JDate or any of these things, where you put up a real picture and you look at profiles and you answer, and it might cost you some money. But again, dude, you're not going to go out into a bar and drink for free. You're not going to go out and buy a woman drinks all night just to get no phone number for free. So I would suggest check all these sites out, see which one kind of appeals to you, and give it a shot. Because it seems like that's what people are doing now, is it saves you a lot of trouble. It saves you drunk driving. It saves you hours of beer breath and standing. So give it a shot online.
I've tried online before. I just really never had luck with the websites. It just seems like it's more of a pain in the ass to manage.
Maybe it is, but I mean, again, the option of live things. Where do people go to meet women? I guess they go to social functions or bars or clubs. I mean, I just don't know, brother. Because I don't, even in comedy clubs, it's hard for me to meet women. So without stand-up comedy, I would probably be in a monastery somewhere. I would have no ability whatsoever to get free pussy.
Well, before, I mean, the only way that I would ever meet women was when I was either in college classes or at work. And now, I mean, I don't go to college and I fucking drive a truck by myself. So there's no social aspect whatsoever unless I fucking drive an hour away from home.
Well, be lucky. Again, then look at this. The age of the internet, you are lucky that there is an option that does work. I mean, maybe for you it's been a pain in the ass, but it's a possibility. So in that way, we are very fortunate. Yeah, it exacerbates sexual addiction, all that stuff, but it's a really great thing to be able to go out and put up dating profiles. You could probably do it for free on Craigslist. I mean, you have to weed through a lot of prostitutes, but there is like a men seeking women section where I think a lot of them are legit. So there are ways to do it online. It may be time consuming and it may not always work. But again, there's nothing you're going to do in your truck unless you're on the CB. So you might as well give it a shot.
Except that something is better than nothing pretty much.
Yeah, of course, dude. At least we have the option now.
Exactly.
All right?
All right, man. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, brother. See you.
See ya.
Jason in Detroit has an issue with his parents.
Okay. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Jimmy. I haven't talked to my mother or my father in 6 years. Had an altercation with my brother, and I went to my parents to kind of like, make some peace between us. And my parents both said, "Well, you're an adult. Why don't you fucking handle it?"
How old are you and how old's your brother?
Well, I'm 41 now, and he's 2 years older than me. That was 6 years ago.
Okay, so you're adults.
I mean, I'm adult, but I was like, let's have a mediator instead of me, because when I went to him to confront the situation, he wanted to take it physical, and I'm much larger than my brother, even though he's older, and it wouldn't have ended well.
Right.
Because I have a temper.
Sure.
In our family, we're known for a temper, and so I was just trying to do things peacefully, and I had other issues with my parents growing up, abuse and stuff like that. So I haven't talked to him in a long time. Long story short, my father is very ill. And my one sister who I still talk to and my wife kind of want me to go visit him. And I keep telling them no, and they're kind of not letting it drop. Well,
a couple of things, dude. I don't know your family dynamics. But I do in a way that, and I'm not saying your parents are good people or awful people, but there is something to be said for the fact that when two adults are having a disagreement, like you and your brother, maybe parents get sick and tired of being mediators. Again, I'm not a parent, but maybe that was part of the issue. And I do think it's up to you and your brother to handle it without a mediator. I think if you guys have issues, especially if you've said you've had issue with your parents and they were abuse and stuff like that, then maybe you shouldn't be going to them to mediate for you as an adult. Maybe whatever problem you and your brother has, as two men, you have to work that out as adults. And just because people are our parents doesn't mean we have to like them. So you have to make a decision. Will you be able to forgive yourself if you never see your father again? And you have to really know that. Because, my dad told me that he had an argument with his grandfather. They were very close, but the last time he ever saw his grandfather, I think they had an argument. And, unfortunately, a good relationship, that last bad moment was the final memory. So for you, maybe there wasn't a great relationship. Are you willing to never see him again for real? Like, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is like, you understand that you will really never see him again.
I understand that, and I've said that since day one, because I went to my parents. I could have handled it, and I tried to handle it with my brother, but he didn't want to listen. It was just his side, and I was just trying to kind of talk to him like an adult. And anytime I bring something up, trying to counteract his point, he wanted to take it physical. And like I said, if I would have took it physical, I'm 6'7", I weigh 280 pounds, and I'm not a fat guy.
Right.
I'm a little bit bigger than Kenny, because I actually saw you down in Columbus.
Okay.
And my brother is about 6 foot. He's not about 200 pounds. So it would have ended well. And I was just like, I don't want to hurt him.
Sure.
Because I know how I would get, and I try to be an adult about it. And I figure, I was just trying to, let's all be adults about it. Let's talk this thing over.
What was the problem? What was the problem that you two are strange? You haven't talked to him in 6 years either, right?
No. If I ever saw him again, I would probably punch him. He accused my wife of saying something disrespectful to his son, and I've since talked to his son. Me and his son actually get along great. He doesn't get along with his father. And I asked his son about the situation. I actually asked his mother about the situation because they're divorced. My brother's divorced from his first wife, and she goes, she doesn't recall the situation. What happened was my brother was cheating on his wife, and my wife found out about it, and I think that he was using that as a reason to kind of separate himself from my wife and me.
Did the wife tell his son?
No.
Okay.
My wife swears up and down, and I believe her.
What did the son say when you asked him?
Son said, I don't know whatever happened, because I always wondered why I never saw you. I'm his godfather, too. So, and he's, since I've talked to his son a lot, and I'm pretty close to him. And
well, there's an old expression, to thy own self be true. If you know deep down that you definitely don't want to see your father again, and you know your reasons are right, and your motives are clear, and you're comfortable with that, and you don't feel a need to do it for your sister and her peace of mind or your mother, then don't do it. If you know, and again, just make sure you have a clear head and you're not reacting angrily, because anger does fade, and there's certain things that are undoable. And if what you're saying is accurate and your brother's just being a prick who doesn't want to listen, well, sometimes, we can only make so much effort. But if you're estranged from your mother and your father and your brother, you're the common denominator in that. So maybe the three of them are fucked up, or maybe you're not processing something well either. Don't forget, dude, you are a quarter of that foursome. So there might be something you're not doing right, too.
His phone cut out.
Oh, okay. So we didn't hang up on you.
Yeah.
We got disconnected. Sorry, man. I hope you're still listening. So good luck with whatever happens. And don't punch him. You're a big boy.
Let's go to Mike in Trenton. Has a problem with his engagement.
Okay. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy?
Good, buddy.
I'm going to give you a little backstory before I get to my question. Been with my wife for 13 years now. Been married for 4 high school sweethearts. Lost my virginity to her.
Okay.
For the first time, a few weeks ago, I went to a strip club. And, got the dances, finally see the one that was just my type.
Yeah.
Get the dances, great time. She starts giving me free dances, and I was there till closing, and she says, why don't you wait up for me afterwards? So I wait up. I was drinking all night, wait up. She tells me that her car's broke down. She just needs a ride home. But okay, fine. So we start heading towards her place, and she asked me to pull over. She had to snort a Xanax.
Okay.
So while she was that, we got to talking. We're talking about this and that, and then she just hops on board and
so you fucked her.
Going at it. I've been truthful with my wife. I've never been dishonest. We've had a great relationship, and after we fucked, it was great. We just hung out in my car for a long time. We ended up going out to breakfast. She wanted to give me her number afterwards, and basically, what my question is should I jump down this rabbit hole?
No. No.
Do you think your lack of long-term relationships is because it directly contributes because of your likeness?
Absolutely. Here's why I say no. Because if you've been faithful to your wife and you've been good, again, I don't want to get married or whatever, but I admire people who do it and enjoy it. It's not like you and your wife are such a terrible couple and then you met this girl. This is a girl. This is only going to end badly. She's this dancer, and she might be a great girl, but she's much more used to this than you are. You know what I mean? She probably doesn't have a husband at home, so she's risky. When someone pulls over the first time you're with them and they snort a Xanax, that should tell you it's not going to end well. You do not want to get involved in this because she's going to be with other guys. There's no way you're going to be in some committed relationship with her. So she's going to be dancing. You're going to show up at the strip club. She's going to have some guy pumping hundreds into her, and she's not going to want to hang with you because she's going to be making her living. So you're going to get jealous and fucked up. Even if she doesn't leave with him, the fact that she's going into the back with him and you're going to want free dances because you guys have a weird connection, that's a fucking, I'm telling you, you're setting yourself up to be very, very unhappy if you do that. And I understand the temptation. I would personally not go back.
At all. I mean, that's another thing is I've never really been to a strip club until that time. And, even, I am not an idiot. I know I'm not going to save this girl. I'm not going to, but even going back to the strip club and just getting more lap dances, I've always been kind of like a closet case pervert where I've been on probably every porn website known, and it's like my wife doesn't really know that.
Right.
But we have a great relationship. We do everything under the sun that we could possibly do together, and it's just
you're going to wreck the marriage. Because I'm telling you, man, like you said, a great way to put it. It's a rabbit hole, and because it's a strip club, this is what strippers do. And I think she probably genuinely likes you, or she wouldn't have fucked you for free. But who knows, man? You never know what's going on in their head. They're flaky. They change from day to day. They get a new boyfriend or a new sugar daddy because you're married and you're not pumping money into her. It's only going to end badly. Again, she pulled over and was snorting a Xanax. That should tell you something. This is not her first day at the fucking rodeo, as we like to say.
Yeah.
You have a lot more to risk than she does. I would stay away. I understand the temptation of it. Personally, I think that you should be telling your wife whatever it is you jerk off to. Not the stripper story, but I don't think you should be hiding what you jerk off to from your wife. Hopefully in a relationship, you can fuck her while looking at the images you want to look at, or she can tell you what her secret dirt is, and that's kind of healthy. But
it's my taste. It's my taste that have changed. Like when we were first together in high school, my taste was her, but now it's evolved into she's still fucking super attractive.
Sure.
And, petite, thin, amazing person. But, it's like, I want that taste of dirtiness.
It's a high. Yeah, of course, dude. I get it. It's great. It's a high. Believe me, I've lost some weight recently. I want to eat cheesecake every day. I want to shove food into my fucking fat face every day. Sometimes, and it's really hard to do, we just got to tell ourselves no, because it's not worth the trade-off. And again, that's me saying it, dude. And I've destroyed so many things with sexual addiction, so many great opportunities with women, and so many wonderful people and relationships that I have fucked up, and I've been emotionally distant from. And you're going to do that to the person you love the most. I've never even been married, and I've done that. So I don't think you want to wreck your wife's life and your life over a girl who snorts Xanax the first time you hang out with her. And believe me, she will fuck you over. You'll walk in that club one night and you'll see her giving another guy the same look as you, and she'll wink at you in a sexy way, and they take him into the back room, and you're going to be humiliated.
Yeah.
You set yourself up for a disaster.
All right, so stay away.
Yeah, man, it's hard. You got lucky. No one fucks a stripper their first time in a strip club. No one. Here's what happened. Someone got injured. You got called up for the minor leagues. You went to bunt, and the ball went over the fence. That's never going to happen again. You bunted a 3-run home run your first time up at the plate. Just enjoy it, dude, and be happy that you got lucky that one time, and realize that does not happen in strip clubs. And just enjoy that memory.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. You killed it at the Patricia benefit.
Thank you, buddy.
Later.
All right, we have time for one more, E-Rock? No, we're all out. We're out of time. Let's just say this. I should have asked him if he had oral sex. Do you love oral sex? We all do. Who doesn't love a good blowjob? Or getting one, too? Do you practically have to beg your wife or girlfriend to give it to you? And by the way, women, this is one of the reasons we cheat on you. Because you're not fucking coughing up the Hummers. You hold out, happy birthday. You find yourself, here it is. You find yourself counting down those days to your anniversary, your birthday, once or twice a year, that special treat. The Sarge will do a favor and suck your dick. If this sounds familiar, don't waste another minute. You need to get Mask Sexual Flavors today. Mask Sexual Flavors, they're gel strips that dissolve on her tongue and block the taste of oral sex, including your horrible orgasm. Because let's be honest, you ever kiss a girl after she blows you? It's fucking hideous. It's like something, it just kills your mouth. It's terrible. Mask drastically improves the experience for both you and your partner. She doesn't have to taste your horrible jizz, and you don't have to have her rough hands jacking you. Because what happens is they pull their mouth off and they just tug the head like the rookies they are. Women jerk you off. It's like a chimp grabs your dick with her feet. They have no idea how to do it. It's featured on the pages of Playboy and Men's Health magazine. Mask was developed through years of research and testing. It's 100% safe and effective. Visit sexualflavors.com to learn more. You can read customer reviews and you can purchase single strips or 3-pack. Because who knows, maybe she'll blow you 3 times. You have a long car ride, maybe once on the way there, once on the way home, and once at the movie. It's available in strawberry, watermelon, mango, and chocolate. And you should only present one flavor to her. So if she goes, oh, I would, but I don't like chocolate, then you yank out a strawberry and you shame her into sucking your dick. Introduce her to Mask Sexual Flavors today. And look, there's no law that says you can't put it on your tongue to mask whatever horrible flavors she has. You'll be glad you did. Mask Sexual Flavors today. See you guys next week. Well, I'll be here tomorrow for the Opie and Anthony show. Ron and Fez next.